Hello everyone, and welcome to Tony's Comic Spotlight. In this weekly episodic series, I spotlight some of the best comics put to print. In today's episode, we celebrate the first appearance of Dick Grayson, the first Robin, as we shine the spotlight on Detective Comics issue number 38 from 1940. If you are enjoying the content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos. Feel free to leave a comment as well. I hope you enjoy the videos. And now, on to our featured story. Story number 1, Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder. When the owner of a traveling circus named Mr. Haley is confronted by thugs, they ask Mr. Haley to pay a fine, but he refused, and as a result, his best-selling attraction, the Flying Graysons, are killed in what is supposed to be a freak accident while performing that night. The Graysons' young son, Dick, overhears an incriminating conversation between Blade the Killer and his employer, Boss Zuko. Dick plans to call the police, but Batman, who has attended the show as the millionaire playboy Bruce Wayne, takes in Dick Grayson. Instead of immediately pursuing the thugs, Batman trains Dick, already an excellent acrobat, on how to become a crime fighter. When a period of training is over, Dick is given a red, green, and yellow costume and adopts the identity of Robin, the Boy Wonder. Dick debuts as Batman's sidekick, and the dynamic duo hunt down the extortion gang and their leader, Boss Zuko. Zuko's new plan is to demolish a skyscraper construction site, but Robin and Batman defeat the gang in a dangerous battle on the High Girders, during which Robin uses a sling to knock one thug off a steel beam and kicks a second gunman off another girder. Zuko is recorded by Robin in the act of pushing Blade to his death, and this evidence is given to the police, leading to Zuko's conviction for murder. In the end, Robin vows to be Batman's partner against crime. Story number 2, Bart Regan's Spy in The Electrical Assassin. An insane electrical scientist develops a machine that can hit targets with lightning. Bart Regan puts him out of action, and the War Department takes control of the lightning machine. Story number 3, Red Logan in Dr. Hydekill. In London, Dr. Hydekill is insanely seeking to use the blood of living people to resurrect the dead, and commits a series of murders which are made to appear like vampire attacks. Red Logan investigates and puts an end to Hydekill's menace. Story number 4, The Crimson Avenger in The Phony Jewel Robbery. Some gem thieves and some insurance fraudsters cooperate to defraud an insurance company out of a lot of money. The Crimson Avenger finds out about this racket and corners the gang in their own hideout. He gets his gas gun knocked out of his hands, but out fist fights the gang, then gasses them, carries them away, and dumps them on the sidewalk in front of a police station. Story number 5, Speed Saunders in The Kidnapped Singer. Speed Saunders is on the case as he tries to save a popular singer from being kidnapped. Story number 6, Steve Malone in The Gambler's Protector. A gang of gambling racketeers are being protected by corrupt city officials, including the police commissioner, until District Attorney Steve Malone takes them down. Story number 7, Cliff Crosby at the Arctic Circle. Cliff Crosby and Dr. Broussard go exploring in the Arctic Circle. They encounter a traveling tribe of African people who've got a serum that protects them from the cold. The tribe is led by a usurper who has forced them to migrate to this location for a reason that is never stated. Cliff fights a cobra and a pair of polar bears, the neck of one of which he breaks with his bare hands. Cliff also helps sort out a tribal problem about who is the rightful king of the tribe. Everybody parts on friendly terms. Crosby and Broussard return to the U.S. via dog sled. Story number 8, Slam Bradley in The Big Fire. While on their way to a wrestling match, Slam Brady and Shorty Morgan overhear a police radio call that leads them to an apartment building fire. There they encounter the building's janitor, valiantly rescuing residents, and dash inside to look for more of them. Shorty has some bad luck rescuing one frightened tot, and they both are trapped inside the very large refrigerator. Slam looks for them and finds them just in time, but then they hear young crippled Tommy Crane on the upper floor. He can't jump, so Slam and Shorty do a ladder climbing, rope swinging, window smashing, skylight climbing rescue. And along the way they find some evidence indicating how the fire got started. Also, Slam gets his hands cut quite badly on some broken glass. After all the residents are rescued, based on the evidence from upstairs, Slam accuses the janitor of starting the fire. The janitor pulls a gun on him, confirming that suspicion, but Slam and Shorty take him down and turn him over to the police. Afterwards, the grateful firemen rush Slam and Shorty to the wrestling match in a fire truck. Aspects of the Robin costume and even his name are drawn from Jerry Robinson's childhood favorite hero, Robin Hood. Three thugs are knocked off a tall building, apparently to their deaths, by Robin in this story's final battle. Robin's debut story was later adapted on the episode Robin's Reckoning for Batman the Animated Series. His origins were also adapted in the movie Batman Forever. Before Dick was taken in by Bruce, he was placed into a juvenile detention center or a youth study hall because the orphanages were full. Most of the kids inside were there for committing adult crimes. He was beat up by the other kids and was constantly under threat, lost in a system that was too cheap to care for a traumatized kid who had just watched his parents get murdered. While there, he had to fight other kids alongside his own loneliness and grief. Joker has been terrorizing the Batman family for years. He killed Jason, put Barbara in a wheelchair, and he pit Damian Wayne against his own father. And yet he has admitted that he hates Dick Grayson the most out of all of Batman's allies, because he is the one person that the Joker has never been able to traumatize. Joker goes out of his way to make Dick Grayson suffer, going so far as to start killing off members of Halley's circus once he discovers his secret identity. Since there have been many iterations of DC Comics timelines and canonical stories over the years, many details about certain characters have changed or been misplaced. For instance, for the question of how Dick Grayson was when he took up the mantle of Robin, there are several answers. In some of the more popular iterations of the comics pre-52, he was just about 8 years old when his parents died and officially became Robin when he was 9. For people who grew up with this version of Robin, they tend to regard this as canon. But there have been versions where he was 10, 12, even 15 when he first donned the cape. Dick Grayson is incredibly smart to the point that in some versions he skipped a grade at the esteemed Gotham Academy. He won several competitions as a mathlete and is often portrayed as a computer whiz, though not quite to the capacity of Tim Drake. In the acclaimed Young Justice cartoon, one of Robin's greatest strengths is the team's residential hacker, able to even break through the security system of the Batcave. He's a genius tactician, having been trained by Batman and led the Young Justice team, the Titans, and the Outsider. While Dick has made many friends throughout his years, flitting from team to team with countless different heroes, only one has earned the title of his best friend, Wally West, the eventual successor of the Flash. These two grew up together as sidekicks, fighting together as co-members on multiple teams, and continuing to help each other as they move on from sidekicks to heroes in their own right. Both of them have experienced tragedy in terms of supposed death of their best friend. When Wally got trapped in the Speed Force, he was presumed dead, devastating Dick. And when Dick's identity was revealed to the world, he had to fake his own death to keep his family and friends safe, in turn devastating Wally. They've saved each other's lives over and over throughout the years and endured endless hardships together and come out stronger on the other side. Dick Grayson is half Romani. Whether his heritage stems from his mother's side or his father depends on the version. But it's a part of Dick's identity that is often overlooked in representation outside of the comics, resulting in many being under the impression that Dick is just another white male superhero. A lot of the early references in the comics are outdated, contain racist slurs, and not an accurate representation of Romani culture. While this is an underdeveloped aspect of Dick's identity, it is an opportunity for future Romani representation that doesn't fall into stereotypes. Dick Grayson is fired from being Robin multiple times. Like most of the details about Robin, or in fact any character in the DC Universe, the specifics vary depending on the timeline being examined. But there is a common thread for instances that Grayson's Robin gets the sack. Bruce typically fires Dick because he's been injured or he's worried for his safety. In one instance, Robin is shot in the shoulder by the Joker, and Batman fires him to keep him out of the line of further fire. In another, Robin is nearly beaten to death by Two-Face while Batman is restrained and forced to watch. Batman fires him to keep him safe as well as a punishment for disobedience, since Robin had been ordered not to engage Two-Face in this deadly game. Perhaps this was obvious in his extracurriculars as a vigilante crime fighter, but Dick Grayson is a bit of an adrenaline junkie. What might not be so obvious is that his trait doesn't go away when he takes off the mask. In his civilian life, Dick often participates in risky, extreme activities to get a rush. Likely rooted in his circus background as a trapeze artist, Dick enjoys a good thrill to the point that he goes out of his way to experience it. He often goes free-falling, an activity that Bruce considers an unnecessary risk. Dick Grayson trained Rose Wilson, aka Ravager, the daughter of Deathstroke, with Deathstroke's permission. I hope you enjoyed this look at Detective Comics 38, featuring the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Robin the Boy Wonder. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell for future notifications. If you haven't done it yet, you still got time to vote for the CBC Awards. The voting lasts until November 18th, and you can go to www.cbcawards.org to cast your votes. And join us back here next week, as for the first time ever, I'm going to be doing a viewer-requested spotlight. A few weeks ago, or maybe been longer than that, I was talking to Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy, on Instagram, and he made a joke about how he said he was still waiting on me to do a book on Jessica Drew, or spotlight on Jessica Drew. And I said, okay. So this will be the first viewer-requested spotlight. So next week, we'll be spotlighting the first appearance of Jessica Drew, the Spider-Woman, in Marvel Spotlight issue number 32 from 1977. So until then, everybody be safe, take care, and God bless. See you.